Streamer Nickmercs found himself in a little bit of controversy last summer, and just as kind of a quick recap of what happened for people who don't actually know, there was protests at school board meetings in California over the inclusion of certain materials in their libraries. And in any other context, these materials would have been considered pornographic because of the graphic illustrations that they had in the books. But some people were saying that they should be allowed to show those to children, even though that would be illegal in other contexts. But Nickmercs, he made a tweet kind of in response to a video showing these protests. And in it, he said they should leave little children alone. That's the real issue. And of course, people were coming out afterwards and were saying that's an anti-LGBTQ tweet or post that he made and it's homophobic and stuff like that, which is, I don't know, that's kind of strange to equate being against child grooming or other acts against children as being anti-LGBTQ. But you know, maybe people are just dumb and not thinking what they're saying, because I think that's a pretty benign statement that he made, but apparently other people saw it differently and there was attempts to cancel him. As a result, Activision and Call of Duty removed this skin that they had in the game for him and removed that so people can't use it. And there was a lot of other calls to cancel him, but you know, it didn't actually work out. But that might actually have come back too, because now we got this latest news. Nickmercs claims he won't get Apex Legends Pro League invite over LGBTQ plus stance. Speaking about the Apex Pro League on stream on Wednesday, Nickmercs told viewers he didn't think he was going to be invited to the league because they had different opinions on LGBTQ plus issues. Nickmercs did go on to say, "Put two and two together. Apex is very pro effing gay, pro trans, pro look. I'm not anti, but I'm not at the front of the parade doing the high knees either. You know what I mean?" he said. And he was asked by a comment during his stream about previous comments that he made and how they can be considered anti-LGBTQ. Nickmercs maintains, because he even said it back at the time, that he's not anti those groups or anything like that, but he does draw the line at education for children because he thinks that's something that should be reserved for parents. And as a new father himself, I can understand why you would actually hold those positions. I think parents should be teaching their kids stuff like that. He said, "When it's up to schools and teachers that I might not know, nah, I'm good." As far as Apex Legends being very pro-gay, it does have this to say about the game in the article. "The game is loud and proud and unapologetically queer. From its very inception, Apex Legends include the non-binary hunter, bloodhound, and queer fighter Makoa Gibraltar. In 2022, the game introduced a new legend, Catalyst, a trans woman whose terraforming powers are used to save the dying moon of her dystopian planet." Knowing all this, it's understandable why Apex Legends wouldn't be giving him an invite, considering his public position is considered anti-LGBTQ, even though he himself has said that's not his position. His position is solely just about protecting children, but for some reason, there's people out there equating protecting children with being anti-LGBTQ. I'm not saying everyone within the LGBTQ community believe that, but the ones who do believe that probably are on some type of registry, because there is something really disturbing about this. But also, almost the bigger connotation to this that a lot of people are missing is it really does go to show who has the privilege here, because of the comments that he made in protecting children and people saying that's the anti-LGBTQ. Actually, I'm just going to say alphabet community people, because it's easier to say alphabet community than LGBTQ. Because of his position is considered anti-alphabet community, he was canceled by Call of Duty and looks like Apex Legends as well. And it really does go to show, if you have the power to cancel people because of wrongthink, then you're not the victim anymore. You're the oppressor at this stage in the game. And some people are going to say, no, they're still victims and blah, blah, blah. They don't have equal rights, even though they essentially have equal rights.
Excuse me, ma'am. No porn at the bar.
Oh, it's okay. I'm transgender.
Oh, I had no idea. Do whatever you want all the time.
A lot of the people who are trying to cancel Nickmercs are definitely the evil, oppressive types, and like I said, somewhat disturbing types, but that's neither here nor there. That's basically just a fact of the matter at this point. But some people would say, like, well, Nickmercs wasn't canceled because he got this huge payday from Kick following all this controversy. So it goes to show that they're not trying to cancel people. It's like, no, they tried to cancel him. They just failed because he was too big for them to go after. And also, he didn't bend the knee to them, because when they come after people like this, usually you'll start hearing apologies and backtracking. And when you do that, that's basically just blood in the water, and these piranhas will just circle and devour until there's nothing left of you. But if you dig in your heels and show no weakness by apologizing, well, then eventually it'll just move on. And that's kind of what he did. Maybe it didn't necessarily work because it's still fairly new. I mean, what was it, 7 months ago, 6 months ago? So, all right. I mean, it's not necessarily that they moved on entirely, but at least this is just his opinion. We haven't found out just yet if it actually did work on them. But either way, I mean, he got this big payday because Kick wasn't concerned themselves with the alphabet community and their agenda or anything like that. They're just trying to bring in talented people who have an audience behind them, and they're willing to accept anyone else, regardless of calls to cancel them. And that's really what creators, I think, should be focusing on, is these third-party sites who won't just drop your account because you stirred up a little bit of controversy, or some people got mad because you stepped out of line or said something that other people deemed inappropriate or whatnot. And if you just support sites like this and just now I'm not saying put all your eggs in this type of basket, but as long as you're willing to actually support third-party sites and not bow to the mob, then I think creators will be okay. And I think in the future, because of the way the alphabet communities behave themselves, we're going to see more creators taking this approach.